Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling a really hidden struggle that honestly so many leaders are facing right now. We're talking about that creeping isolation and burnout that sneaks up on frontline and middle management leaders. You're out there every single day trying to be a genuine servant minded leader, literally pouring your energy into your team. But wait a second, who's pouring into you? So today, we're exploring why having a mentor isn't just some nice little bonus, it is an absolute necessity for your survival and growth as a leader.
To really set the stage here, let me share a story from the source material that just completely struck me. Picture this. A leader, super eager to grow, drops a staggering $16,000 on a leadership coaching program. 16 grand. And it promised the world, right? Transformation, runaway success, the whole 9 yards. But in the end, it completely and utterly failed to deliver any real personalized growth. So why does that happen? Why do these massive, generic, crazy expensive programs so often leave leaders feeling like they're exactly where they started, just, with a much lighter wallet? Well, I absolutely love this quote from Marie Curie. The greatest gift is not being afraid to question. It just perfectly shatters this illusion that standard, out-of-the-box leadership programs are the only path to your professional growth. Honestly, we shouldn't be afraid to question the whole status quo of leadership development. I mean, if a $16,000 program isn't the magic answer, what actually is? And that exact question sets up the massive revelation we're about to jump into.
So, let's look at section 1, the coaching versus mentoring myth. We hear these words used interchangeably all the time, but knowing the actual difference here, that's the core revelation for a servant-minded leader. Think way back to your school days for a second. A coach or a teacher really focuses on the whole team, the entire classroom. They're absolute experts at keeping everyone moving forward together, setting those big picture goals, and just making sure the whole group crosses the finish line. But a mentor? A mentor is a totally different ballgame. They're much more like a private tutor or a personal trainer. They sit down with you, one-on-one, and give you their undivided, hyper-personalized attention to help you through your specific individual struggles.
Now, let me be super clear about this. Coaching absolutely has value. We definitely need people to guide the team. But true servant-minded leaders desperately need that deep, one-on-one personal investment that literally only a mentor can provide. A coach is managing the group's agenda, right? But a mentor focuses entirely on your personal growth journey. Because let's face it, when you're constantly serving others day in and day out, you need someone whose sole focus is serving you. That brings us to section 2. The value of a third-party perspective. Because you might be wondering, why can't we just figure all this out on our own? Well, the crucial point here is that a mentor brings 3 massive benefits to the table. First off, they give you that critical third-party perspective. When you're deep in the trenches, it's virtually impossible to see the whole battlefield, right? A mentor keeps you on track from the outside. Second, they've already walked the path. They aren't just speaking from some management textbook, they're speaking from actual, survived, real-world experience. And third, they help you work through your thoughts. Have you ever tried to communicate a big vision to your team and it just came out as a tangled mess? We've all been there. A mentor gives you a safe space with real discernment to untangle those thoughts before you ever bring them to your team. I actually want to pause right here and just reassure you. Seeking outside help, actively asking for a mentor, it is not a flaw. It doesn't mean you're somehow incapable as a leader. In fact, it is the absolute smartest move you can make. It's an act of deep wisdom because it proves you care way more about getting it right than just looking like you already know everything. Okay, so moving into section 3, how to find your mentor. Now that we know we need one, how do we actually go about finding this unicorn, right? I do have to warn you right up front. The order of the upcoming steps is absolutely crucial, like make or break crucial. If you mix up the order of these questions, you'll end up being led to the wrong guide entirely. You might find someone who's super willing to help, but who hasn't actually been where you want to go. So really pay close attention to this sequence. Here is the chronological 3-step masterclass framework for identifying your ideal mentor. Step 1, who do I know that I respect? Step 2, who has actually accomplished what I want to achieve? And step 3, who would be willing to invest in my success? Let's deliberately pace through each one of these because it's super important to really grasp how they build on each other. So step 1 is all about respect. And here's the real secret here. Keep your list short. Well, obviously, we should respect everyone as human beings. The list of people we hold in the highest professional and personal regard, that should naturally be very, very small. Think about the people whose character and integrity you genuinely admire. If your list is getting too long, ask yourself exactly why you respect them, and I promise you, that's going to help you narrow it down pretty quickly.
Moving to step 2. Accomplished. They absolutely must have walked your desired path. This is vital. A friend with the exact same experience level as you is a totally great sounding board, for sure, but they aren't a mentor. You need someone who has actually survived the specific road that's still ahead of you. And hey, if no one on your short list of respected people has achieved what you want to achieve, well, that just means you need to intentionally expand your circle. Finally, step 3, invest. This is what this source material really cleverly calls the dating phase. And look, I'm not going to lie to you, this is kind of the terrifying part. It requires an incredible amount of vulnerability to just walk up and ask someone to invest their highly valuable time in your success. You honestly have to be prepared to hear a few no's before you finally get that crucial yes. But when you do find that person who fits all 3 criteria and they agree to invest in you, it is immeasurably rewarding. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, deciding to take action. It is time to connect this entire quest back to the foundational roots of what it really means to be a servant-minded leader. Because at its core, the foundation of servant-minded leadership is authentic love and commitment. It's much like a heart inside a glowing light bulb, just being held gently by caring hands. Stepping up to find a mentor requires a foundational love for your team, absolutely, but equally, a deep commitment to your own growth. Think about it. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to be willing to invest in yourself so you can actually effectively invest in others. But okay, here is the hard truth of it all. There's this old analogy about 3 frogs sitting on a log, right? One of them decides to jump off. So how many are left? The answer is 3. Why? Because merely deciding to do something is not the same as actually doing it. Deciding to find a mentor just isn't enough until you actually take the jump and make the ask. Commitments alone don't change lives. Actions do. Which leaves us with this final thought. You know exactly why you need a mentor now. You know the stark difference between a coach and a mentor, and you literally have the exact 3-step roadmap to go find one. So, are you going to continue making excuses about not having enough time or feeling a bit intimidated? Or will you stop waiting for some magical quick fix and take the first real active step toward true servant-minded leadership right now, today? The choice and the action is entirely yours.